Tupac and somebody else. Can't remember. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I thought they were talking about doing that, but then the director said that it would be he felt like it'd be kind of like a disservice to his memory if they did that.
I don't know. I will have to look that up. Remind me next week, and I will have more details about that.
Okay. December 25th next year, or this year, actually now. Mission Impossible 5. Who knew?
Better question. Who cares?
Who cares? I didn't even know they made a fourth one. I missed that entirely. So
yes,
I mean, I guess Tom Cruise needs money for Scientologists. I don't know. But I think the biggest one, December 18th.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That's going to be the big one. That I actually doing this list the other day. I actually looked at my daughter Emma and said, "This time next year, we will have seen the new Star Wars movie."
And her response?
She was very excited. She just kind of grinned maniacally.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Speak more of this, Father.
Yes. They're keeping everything very, very close to the vest about this, which J.J. Abrams is known to do.
Yes.
But what little bit they've released and they've leaked out looks great. And it's a new Star Wars movie. I don't care. I mean, people complain and whine and talk about how bad Phantom Menace was. And it was not great. I'll admit that.
What?
But going into it, you had to know that there's no way it could live up to the hype. It was not going to be as good as people thought it was, because people thought it was going to be like the second coming. So there's no way it could actually live up to what people's expectations were.
Okay.
But, go ahead.
First off, you come back from a trilogy that has one of the greatest bad guys in movie history, if not one of the best bad guy in movie history.
Yeah.
And his voice is, it commands respect. It demands respect. The presentation, a lot of it was in the voice. Yes, I think that's truly, honestly and truly what got Darth Vader into the realm of greatest bad guys in movies history. But with that being said, you come back with Darth Maul. Darth Maul, in my opinion, in what brief time that we saw him, was just as powerful as Vader.
Yeah, I love Darth Maul. I hated to watch him die that quickly.
Yes.
But yeah, the going into Phantom Menace, what I wanted to see was a space battle.
Yes.
That, check. I wanted to see fully functioning Jedi.
Yes.
Not train yourself at home Jedi. Not old broken down Jedi. I wanted to see fully functioning, fully trained Jedi.
Got that?
And I got that.
Yeah.
And I got a cool villain.
What about the androids, man? What about the androids? Not so much?
Not so much. Yeah, I mean, it was... They were fine up until they were doing like a little Three Stooges routine.
Okay. I got you.
That was a bit much.
Spread out. You're crowding me.
Yeah, basically. And Roger.
Yes.
And Jar Jar I hated with a passion. But it was a little slow. It was a little like I said, it wasn't great. But like I said, it couldn't it couldn't live up to the hype.
Right.
And I don't think this one's going to live up to the hype. Because people are going to think this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread again. And then there's going to be people that, constantly complaining about it. Because that's what they do.
Right. Okay, so as I would say somebody who is more than just a casual Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Lamest character in the Star Wars trilogy, if you had to pick one, would you go with Jar Jar Binks, whatever his name was, or the Ewoks?
Jar Jar. Easy.
Really?
Yep.
So you would rather hang out with him than you had the Ewoks?
No, you said lamest, right?
Oh, well, which would you prefer to hang out with was basically, or to be stuck with? Jar Jar or an Ewok?
Oh, the Ewoks.
Really?
Yeah. Jar Jar's aggravating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he kept screwing stuff up left and right.
Miso.
But the great part about it was, if you watch, Jar Jar is responsible for the Empire.
Yes.
Because he's the one that called for the vote to give the Emperor, well, the Supreme Chancellor, his martial law, basically. His complete power. Way to go.
There you go. All right.
Egypt.
So, here's what we're going to do.
Wait a minute. I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead.
That was the movies.
Oh.
Now, we take a look at the comics that we're looking forward to this year.
Okay.
For Free Comic Book Day, which is May 2nd, I believe. We'll talk about that more as we get closer to
Absolutely.
that. For Free Comic Book Day, Image Comics will release Savage Dragon Legacy, which will focus on Malcolm's graduation from high school. If you don't follow Savage Dragon, the original Savage Dragon that started in the series in, I think, 92.
Yes.
Now the series follows his son, Malcolm. And he is, like I said, he's graduating from high school. So this will cover his graduation from high school. Also on Free Comic Book Day, Marvel will release Secret Wars #1. And for me, most importantly, New England Comics will release a new Tick comic book.
No way.
Yes. The last I've seen of the Tick, the last I've seen of the Tick is a couple years ago. They had the Tick New Adventures.
Yes.
And it got to like issue, I think, 7 or 8, and it just stopped.
Is it going to be in color?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So that, like I said, as we get closer to Free Comic Book Day, we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on with Free Comic Book Day and what. Well, it's Free Comic Book Day. I mean, you've got to go to the comic book store and get your comic books. I mean,
yes,
they're free. So,
indeed.
James Bond will be coming to Dynamite Comics. I'm not sure of the release date. They've
Shaken,
just announced,
not stirred.
They've just released, they've just announced that Dynamite Comics will be printing James Bond, and I think it will be like the movies have kind of done a soft reboot to where they're doing earlier stories. Mm-hmm. It'll be the same way with the comics.
Oh, sweet.
Also coming up, just like we were talking about earlier, Walking Dead world will be expanding and possibly losing Carl. So we got that to look forward to.
Yes.
Or not, or whatever's going to happen. Star Wars #1 is coming later this month from the Marvel Universe. And if we were talking about the old Dark Horse ones.
Yes.
Marvel will be re-releasing them. So you can get those old ones in like trade paperback version.
Okay, the question I got about that is, are they going to keep the artist that was doing Star Wars at Dark Horse, or are they going to keep them going? Because I was such a fan of Dark Horse Comics Star Wars more so than I was Marvel Comics back when Marvel was doing their thing.
Yeah. Well, that was back in the 70s when they were doing it. No, it's a whole new crew doing it. But the artwork they've released looks really, really great.
Right.
But that comes out later this month, I think the 15th maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the one that we were talking about is going to sell over 1 million copies. We already know that with the orders that have went out from the comic book stores, it's going to sell over 1 million copies. So, which is a huge deal.
Yes.
That doesn't happen often. So,
right.
The end of the Fantastic Four, at least for now, the cancellation of Marvel's longest-running superhero comic may have been caused by animosity between Marvel and Fox Studios, which pretty much sucks. But realistically, I don't think it's going to last long. And the story to end the Fantastic Four's run should be a humdinger. At the very least, they owe us that. It's the Fantastic Four. So if they're gonna stop their series at least for a month or two, mm-hmm. then it needs to be a whiz bang of a story.
It's going to take Johnny Storm 2.5 seconds to solve it all, just like in Smallville.
That would suck. So that it's actually, I think, in the next couple of months that the storyline should start.
Okay.
To end up that series, I think it starts in 642, and I think they're on like 639, 640 now.
Okay.
So a couple of months from now. Divinity is a new series coming from Valiant Comics, which is part of their Valiant Next initiative. And the only one of the Valiant Next initiative that is not a reboot or a spinoff of an established Valiant title. The premise is in the 70s, the Soviets, desperate to win the space race, launched a dangerous advanced mission that sent a man farther into the cosmos than ever before or since. Out there, he encountered something unknown that changed him. Now he's returned, crash landing in the Australian outback. The few people that have been able to reach him believe him to be a deity, saying that he can bend matter, space, and time to his will. So Earth is about to meet a new god, and he's a communist.
Yes.
So that is coming up in a couple months from Valiant Comics. Also this year, Marvel's Secret Wars. Like we were talking about at Free Comic Book Day. But can they capture lightning in a bottle? Because the original Secret Wars changed comics, really, because that was the first huge crossover event. And now huge crossover events are part of the business model.
Yes.
But the Secret Wars was the original one. First time it had ever been done. So I mean, of course it makes sense that they go back to the well with the original. Hopefully they can capture that lightning in a bottle again.
That's where Wolverine's going to come back, by the way.
It's very possible, yeah.
That is my prediction. That's where Wolverine's going to come back. Yeah,
it's very possible. Archie will be rebooted with an incredible creative crew. Writer Mark Waid and artist Fiona Staples. Both are Eisner Award winners. So that's a big deal. It's not the Archie look anymore. This is more of a modern with Fiona Staples doing it. It's not the old school Archie that it's looked like for the past 50 years.
Okay.
It's a new modern style.
But with that being said, we just talked about Thunderbirds Go. Mm-hmm. And it not having the same look.
Yeah, is that something that's going to be missing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's an attempt to modernize Archie, but is that something we want modernized?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question, and it'll be interesting to see what the answer is. If it fails miserably, The answer is no.